Hi guys, it's Sabrina with this week's Facebook job search question of the week, and I have moved on you. This is not my normal video place because this is going to be kind of a demonstration video of what not to do while we're answering the question. So this week's question has to do with virtual interviews. When you have a company who wants to interview you on Skype or some other virtual service, how do you prepare for that? And the thing about interviews is that once you get to the question and answer section, what you do is really the same, right? So how you answer your questions, how you ask your questions, that's all the same. So the difference in the different types of interviews is how you prepare for them. You prepare differently, a little bit differently for a phone interview than you would for an in-person interview. And the thing with virtual interviews is that you have to think about them as a phone interview and as a in-person interview. So those are the two things you have to keep in mind. So I'm going to give you a couple of things to think about, a couple of things to make sure you are prepared for during a virtual interview. The first one that probably seems obvious, but I promise you it's not, is the way you're dressed. Just because you are in your home and possibly in your bedroom does not mean you should be in your pajamas. So you want to be dressed professionally as if you were walking in there and seeing them face to face. The second thing, and really probably the most important, is where you are. And that's the reason why I have moved. I am actually in my home office for this video, which is in my basement. And so it's naturally rather dark down here. The lighting is great for working. It's not good for a video. I know there's a glare on my face and that's not good. Normally I'm somewhere where there's a little natural light to help me out. There is all kinds of stuff going on behind me. There's the bookshelf with books and photos. There is my son's part of his playland, which is bright and got lots of stuff going on, and there's toys, and I purposefully left it in a little bit of disarray. I normally would never let anybody see that, but it's a little bit messy. He was playing this morning, and so there's a lot going on behind me, and that could potentially distract somebody who's trying to focus on me and what I'm saying. So definitely, things behind you, you want to be mindful of. Normally, you would want to be somewhere where there's really nothing going on behind you, a blank wall, or something that's not going to be distracting is the key thing. So good lighting and not a lot going on behind you. The other kind of distractions that you want to think about are noise distractions. So if you are home and your kids are going to be screaming, or the dog could potentially start barking uncontrollably, or the phone's going to ring, or appliances could be in use. You want to think about those things. I had a Skype interview a couple of months ago with a lady who had her washing machine on. She was washing clothes. And it was so loud I couldn't hear her, and she happened to be in the next room, and maybe she didn't realize it, but that washing machine was so loud I could not hear what she was saying. And I asked her if she could move. She couldn't because she was on a webcam on a desktop, and it was just impossible for me to hear. So you want to think about what noise distractions are going to be happening and how do you minimize those, just like you would if you were in a phone interview. I have clients who know that they cannot keep it quiet at their house. They have the kids running around, they have dogs, or they have loud neighbors, or whatever it is. They just know that it's really hard for them to keep things quiet. And so they actually go to our local library, which has study rooms available for people to use. And they have Wi-Fi, so they know that they can get Skype or whatever service they might need to be able to do the online interview. So think about location long and hard. I mean, that's something that you really want to focus on, is where you're going to do the interview. You don't want anything going on behind you that's going to be a distraction. You want to minimize all noises. The only thing they should hear is the sound of your voice. All right, after you have figured that out, then you want to practice. So if you have never used an online service before to chat, if you've never used Skype, if you've never used whatever service may have come with the webcam you bought, you need to practice. So find a friend or a family member who also has that service and can practice with you and be in the location that you're going to be that day so that they can tell you, yes, I can hear you. Yes, everything looks good. No, I don't hear any other noises. No, I'm not distracted by anything going on around you. Yes, there's, good lighting. You don't have any weird glows on your face. That's all important. So make sure that you practice, and maybe with a couple different people, just so you get a couple different perspectives from other cameras and users on the other side. So definitely practice. You want to be early, just like in any other interview. You want to have your camera pulled up or your computer pulled up with the camera ready, signed in to whatever service it is they're going to use. That way, if they decide to call early, you are ready. It doesn't mean you have to sit at your computer and just wait. It just means that you're in the room, you can hear the computer should it start ringing early, you're there to answer that call. You also want to have your resume ready. And I know that sounds kind of silly because you're not in person. And if you were going in person, you would definitely take extra copies of your resume. And I hope that you're all shaking your head that yes, you would absolutely do that. But you never know when somebody is not going to have your resume handy, and you being able to just email it to them very quickly might be very helpful. So I did have a candidate who was interviewing on Skype, and he said, when I answered the call, there were people in the room that I didn't know was going to be there. None of them had my resume. I was able to just, email it very quickly because I had it pulled up, and they were able to get it and not delay the interview at all. So I have candidates that actually put it in an email, attach it to an email so that it's ready for them if they need to send it. So make sure that is ready. After that, it's pretty common. You want to do your company research. You want to be prepared with your value proposition, what sets you apart from other candidates. You want to have your answers, making sure you're talking about your situations and how you affected the outcome. You want to do that interview the same way you would do any other interview after that preparedness piece. So, the only things that you really have to think about a little bit differently are how you're presenting, what they're seeing, what they're hearing. And minimizing those to the best of your ability. And the way to do that, you may have to try a couple different places in your house. I know when I started taping these videos, and even now, I'm still moving around to try and find what, presents the best kind of space for me to do a video so that you guys aren't distracted, that you can hear me, that there's not weird lighting on my face like there is right now. So you may have to move around, and that's why that practicing piece is really important. You may have to talk to your family about getting the kids out of the house on the day of the interview, or finding a library or somewhere that you can go. Companies are definitely using Skype more and more now, and they're doing it so that they can save costs on face-to-face interviews. If you are in Boston and they have an opening in San Diego, it costs a lot of money to fly you to them, or vice versa. And so, Skype is a great way for them to be able to see you and see how you present without actually being in front of you. So it's definitely being used. If you do not have a Skype account, or you do not have the ability to have an interview that way, meaning you have access to no webcam, then I really think that you need to think about that. And I'm not saying run out and purchase one, but ask friends if they have one. What would you do if a company called today and said, I really want to do a Skype interview or a virtual interview through whatever service? Can you do that? You don't want to say no. I really don't think you want to say no. So think about what you would do if they asked. How would you have to borrow a computer? Do you need to go out and buy a webcam? It's totally up to you. Like I said, I'm not telling you to run out and buy anything. Please don't do that. But just have that plan for if they ask, how are you going to do it? So I hope that helps. If you have a question, I hope that you will visit the Facebook page and put it there on the wall, and it'll be answered in an upcoming video. Please check out the other job seeker resources that I have for you. Lots of great information. There's lots of great information all over the web that you can find lots of good help for your job search. There are lots of people who care about job seekers, who want to help as many Americans as they possibly can get back to work. So lots and lots of great resources out there that I hope you'll take advantage of. So thanks for watching. I hope this was a good kind of what not to do video. Yeah, don't have that in the background. I hope this was helpful, and I hope you have a good weekend, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks. Bye.